Hi, Eric.
Hi, Cassie. Just before we hit actually started,
Hmm.
I was gonna say what's your favorite word, but then I was like, well, now it feels weird to ask without context. But I guess I just gave context. So what's your favorite word?
That is the context. Um, oh, wow. What is my favorite word? I don't okay, I will say like when I was in middle school, I really liked the word clandestine. I don't know, I thought that was a cool word.
Clandestine's a good word.
Yeah. I thought that was a fun word, but yeah, I don't know like right now what my favorite word would be. I will tell you one of my favorite quotes is Uh oh, it just left my brain as I was like, one of my favorite quotes, and I can't remember it. It's my favorite.
It's your favorite ever. You love it so much you can't even remember it. That's how much you love it.
No, my favorite quote is "It's a beautiful thing, the destruction of words."
The
From
destruction of words. Okay.
Yeah, but it was from 1984 by George Orwell, and I don't know
Yeah.
why that always just really sat with me. I don't know why. But what's your favorite word?
I like serendipitous. Although I guess when you're asking favorite word, are you because there's a level of like, are we talking by meaning or are we talking by the sound of the word? Like, is it fun to say? Because serendipitous is just a fun word to say. I don't know if it's my favorite
That
by
was
meaning.
like when we were younger. My sister and I loved to say hippopotamonstrossus phobia.
That's, I mean, I obviously if you said it a lot as a kid, you probably have practiced it, but that's an impressive word to just spit out.
We said that all the time. We thought that was a great word.
Isn't that the one that's the fear of long words?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe that's what it is. Yeah, it's a fear of long word, which is just cruel, you know?
It's not the only one. There are other phobias out there that I've heard of seen like a list before of things that you like. They're all phobias of word related things, but it's like a phobia of vowels, and it's like all vowels.
What's the thing that where you can't handle certain sounds, like chewing?
Is that a? I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's a phobia, but I don't know what it'd be called.
I swear we've talked about this before because I don't want to admit it here. I can't handle the sound of chewing. Stresses me out. But I feel like it's something weird like that too, where you're like, that's an awful word for that.
I don't know
But now I
why
can't
you
remember. Can't remember what it
why
is.
you don't want to admit it. It's not like the listeners are gonna just like. It's not like you're gonna be so popular people can come up to the street and just like start chewing in your face.
It wasn't really admitting it to other people. It was just more, I didn't want to remind you of it because you absolutely would do that.
Yeah, but I already knew it.
And you have. Yeah, but you
I
like
would and have
forget.
done it.
Yeah, but you forget. And then whenever something comes up and I accidentally remind you, then you're like, oh yeah. And then,
Oh yeah, and then I
oh
start doing it again.
yeah. Yeah, boss.
Yeah, yeah, boss, yeah.
Yeah, get him.
That was very unrelated.
I don't know why the way we were saying that, that's what made me think
did
of.
you look up that phobia or did you not?
No, I just moved on with my life.
Oh, okay, okay. We're just gonna move on. If you want to know what it is, look it up on your own time. But like, yeah, there are other phobias that do similar things, as far as like the being deliberately, whether or not deliberately, but deliberately like backwards, because it's like you're afraid of the word itself almost.
Fear of words. Misophonia. Which actually sounds like you're just mocking them, really?
Well, it kind of sounds like it's a self admission that you're a fake person. You're like me so phony.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm like. I was like, it sort of sounds mocking in a way. Hmm.
It's like I don't like the sound of chewing. I have misophonia.
Right? Yeah, that's sort of what it sounds like.
I don't know. It's weird because like I don't know how like I get what you're saying as far as the word sounds mocking, but I don't see how
Hmm.
it's mocking because it's a weird one to mock. Like the phrase the situation's weird to be mocking.
The situation, yeah, well, that's also like how we've discussed before. It's weird to make fun of people's fears because everyone has a fear. You know what I mean?
I'm just
So, I don't know.
I think there's so here's the thing. The definition of a phobia is an irrational fear of something, right? It's irrational.
Hmm.
That's the part that
Hmm.
matters. So like there are a lot of people that have afraid of things that are legitimately phobias, like say fear of long words. That's irrational, right? Like why would you be afraid of that?
Hmm.
However, there are people that have phobias of things that I would say does not qualify as a phobia. Like if you have a fear of tigers and you live in like the jungle where tigers live, I don't know where tigers live, but if you live in like the jungle where tigers live, that's not an irrational fear. It's a perfectly valid fear.
Yeah.
Or like if you live in like, if you have like a fear of polar bears and you live in the Arctic, there's a level of like, that's not irrational. Polar bears are very dangerous. That's a very rational fear.
Do you think that's like someone saying they have a fear of falling off a cliff and you're like, that's a weird fear to have? And they're like, well, I work at the Grand Canyon. And you're like, oh, well.
Or like if they said that out of fear, like someone saying, oh, I'm afraid of falling off of a really tall building. You're like, okay, that's a little bit weird. But they're like, I work as a window washer for skyscrapers. And it's like, no, that's relevant because that could happen.
Do you think some people like exposure therapy? Do you think there's some people who have a fear and then they're like, I'm going to conquer it by getting a job that makes me face that every single day?
No, I just think they're braver than I am.
Oh, definitely braver than I am.
I'm telling you right now, I am not getting a job as a snake handler. Which, again, I say is not an irrational fear because if you're afraid of snakes or spiders or whatever it is to the point that like pictures or stories about them like freak you out, that's irrational because it doesn't make sense. But if you're afraid of them to the standpoint that you see a spider, you see a snake, and it freaks you out, that's rational because for all you know, unless you're an expert on the subject, it could be a venomous or poisonous one. You don't know.
I want to switch gears for just a second. What I want to know is we've talked at length many times, almost every single podcast about what our fears are. But what I want to know is what's something that makes you really happy? And I would say it makes you irrationally happy. Like someone gives you a free drink. Oh, of course you're happy about that, right? That's cool, right? But what's something that makes you happy that makes no sense?
The answer is I have way too many and so many that I'm drawing a blank on all of them. So that's fun.
You can't think of one?
But as you know, I just generally enjoy life. So there's so many things that are just pointless little minor things that make me very happy. But an easy one would be like weather, right? It's like fog. I love fog. Anytime it's foggy out makes me kind of happy, arguably to an irrational level. So
no, I know what you mean. Like if I wake up and it's like a bit of a overcast, not rainy, but drizzly sort of day, I am in such a good mood for no real reason.
Yeah. Well, and it's like an irrational level. Like for me, it's like fog, but then what the part that I'd say ventures into irrational is those days when the fog doesn't burn off. Because like at most of the time, at least here, the fog burns off by like midday or even early midday. So the days when it's foggy the entire day and it doesn't go away, that makes me irrationally happy.
I told you the other day, one of the things that makes me irrationally happy is trashy bumper stickers. Like bumper stickers, whatever. I mean, I enjoy a good bumper sticker if you're sitting in traffic, something fun to look at. But something about just having a bumper sticker on there with profanity or some kind of innuendo and you're just driving around with that.
Or just a really, really aggressive stance in some way or another.
Yeah, some really aggressive stance. I don't know why, but something about people being willing to just drive around with that all day long just makes me so happy. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. Like, I don't even really care what the sticker is.
I think it's because, you know, they're willing to be their authentic self and you're not because you just hide in your little shell.
Maybe that's it. I'm like really happy for other people when they can express themselves and be who they want to be.
I wish I could express myself, but I'm a coward.
That's my bumper sticker.
that would be really funny. It's like I wish I could express myself through bumper stickers, but I'm a coward or I'm afraid of what people think. That is your bumper sticker.
That was when I was looking at license plate covers for my new license plate, and I found one that said, "Please don't honk at me. I'm already freaking out." It's like that's what I need. It's like.
So you bought that one, right?
No, I didn't. Because I can't express myself. We just talked about this.
Oh, yeah, because you're afraid to express yourself via car bumper stickers and license plate covers.
Yeah, I can't express myself. Generic.
Like, I'll express myself in every imaginable way, except for that.
I'm trying to think of other things that make me really happy for absolutely no reason.
I said, I'm drawing so many blanks. It's actually ridiculous. I literally... Nothing makes me happy.
I can't think of a single...
And the problem is, like I said, there's so many.
It's not things that make you happy, right? There's plenty of things that make sense that make you happy. It's specifically irrational things that make you happy. You're like, there's no reason that should be so enjoyable. Okay,
so one I just thought of, which is not really a unique thing to me. There's a lot of people that have this, and I think it actually has a name as well. But like, you know when you like tap things, sometimes when you like tap some things and it makes a specific tone?
Yes.
Like
Mm-hmm.
So, depends on what it is, but certain ones make me very happy. I like the sounds of them, especially when there's more than one next to each other, so you can just like go back and forth tapping them and create like a little song almost because it's like different tones.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that, yeah, it is. It's like satisfying in a weird way. You know what
Oh,
it,
there is one. There's
mm,
one. There's one I thought of, which
okay.
is technically dangerous, so I would recommend not doing this unless you're going very slowly. But like if I'm driving and I have the window down
Mm-hmm.
and I'm driving past like a tree that has a like leafy branches hanging out, or like a particularly tall like sunflower seed plant, or like those little reflector poles people will put up next on their driveways and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I like to just sort of like reach out and see if I can just touch it. And
Just
like,
swat at it.
don't do it if you're moving at speed, because if you're moving at speed, you could injure yourself or break something. But if you're moving like in like a car and you're going like barely at all speed, like you're driving up someone's driveway, right? Like you're driving up to like a friend's house or something, and they had one of those little reflectors. It's kind of fun to just reach out the window and just sort of whack it.
I appreciate that you couldn't commit to a speed. You're like, I don't want to say a definitive speed because if someone was going that speed and got
Well,
hurt.
because it's one of those things that like, yeah, it's technically like if you're going too fast and you caught like whacked a tree branch, you could injure yourself technically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a level of I'm not going to commit to a speed and I'm going to say don't do this, but I do this and it makes me happy.
I could see how that would be fun. And I actually, now that you've mentioned
I thought of another one. Irrational makes me irrationally happy.
Yeah.
I do it every single time.
Yeah.
When I'm walking into a grocery store or any building really that has automatic doors, every single time, even when I'm by myself, I do a little like hand movement like I'm using the force to open the doors.
I was about to
time.
say, you're like doing the little Jedi movement.
Yeah.
like,
Yep, like I'm doing like I've got the force and I'm like a Jedi and I'm using my hands. If it opens both directions, I'll often use both hands and just like do it like a spread out to the sides with my fingers, just like with both hands to sort of be like open up.
yeah.
Or if it goes one way, I just do that. But I do it almost every single time I go into a grocery store or any place that has an automatic door, and it makes me happy. And it's not like I do it when I'm by myself, so it's not for other people.
I do that with the garage door. Is when you click the button, like when I'm out walking or whatever, not in my car, but like when I'm walking up to my house and I open the garage door, I like to do the thing with both hands. Or it's like, yeah, you're like a magician. You're like, woo.
You're like, ta-da!
Yeah, like, look at me magically raise the door. Yeah, most of mine that I thought of, it really is just other people being their authentic selves. Because I was thinking, I told you we went to that concert last weekend, and the opening band, those kids, they went at it. And it's because I'm old. They were probably like 25. I don't know. They seemed like kids, but they were having so much fun, which made
them kids and
the concert really fun. I didn't know any of their music. I hadn't heard them before, and how much fun they were having just radiated and just made you also want to have that much fun. You're like, this is a great time and I love it. And yeah, so I don't know. If I was at the grocery store and I saw you doing that, like not knowing you, that would make me weirdly happy. I'd be like, oh, look at that guy having a fun day.
Wait, so things that make you weirdly happy is when you see someone else do something that makes them weirdly happy?
Yeah. Yeah. I like seeing other people having fun, at no one else's expense.
I mean, that's fair.
I just want to be clear about that.
That is fair. That's fair. Like when you see someone else doing something that's like clearly a just for themselves, make themselves smile kind of thing.
Yeah. I know I'm trying to think of other things because like a lot of things make sense of why they make you happy, but every once in a while I'm like, there's got to be things that just for no reason you're like, I love it.
If other ones pop up into my head, I'll just like interject.
Yeah. If it makes no sense to the conversation, you're just gonna be like, nope.
Just like talking about something else entirely, talking about like fleas. I don't know, talking about fleas, and you're just like, hey, I love it when.
Why would we talk about fleas?
Speaking of fleas, I love it when.
I love when they make a circus.
Yeah, I've got nothing else. Snorkus? What?
A circus? Like a flea circus? Huh?
Oh, I heard a snorkus, and I'm like, is a snorkus some hybrid between like a snorkel and a circus? A snorkeling circus?
Is it when the storks make a circus? It's a snorkus.
A snorkus is a circus where the audience sits below the stage. The stage is glass, and it's an underwater circus because they're looking up into it.
Wait, the audience is underwater? Or it's just the illusion of underwater?
No. They're underneath the stage. They're under the stage. The stage itself is like a glass ceiling.
Got it. Okay.
Not the metaphorical one, like a literal glass ceiling filled with water, and then the circus takes place inside that.
We could try it. See how it works.
And then the seats are done like they have seats in like a planetarium where you're like looking up at the sky, so you can look up into the tank. Mm-hmm. And it's a health and safety nightmare because if the glass shatters, everyone underneath is going to get drowned.
Yeah, I was thinking that it's going to be a real nightmare if that glass shatters.
Well, I mean, obviously you don't want it to happen.
Do you sorry, I don't know how to get back to this. I was just thinking like glass ceiling type thing. Would you ever do those bridges that are made of glass? Are you do you think you're afraid of those?
I don't like heights, as you know. But
Mhm,
my thing with heights is it's rational again. It's not an irrational fear of heights.
mhm,
I don't like heights when I don't feel like I'm in a safe situation,
mhm,
right? So if I am in a building, like at the top of like a skyscraper, it doesn't bother me at all. But if I'm on the top of like a cliff, just standing on the edge, that bothers me a little
mhm,
bit. But there's a level of like under my own power as well, because like if I'm in the top of a tall tree but I'm hanging on to the tree,
mhm.
I feel I'm fine because I'm hanging on. Yeah, so I would say the glass bridges, honestly, it would depend on the bridge.
Mm.
I don't think it depends as much on the height so much as where the bridge is located and how the bridge is built. Like if it looks sturdy enough, I'd probably be fine.
Yeah, I agree. I think most glass bridges I'd probably be fine with.
The real question is, have you seen those glass bridges that are actually screens and they do that like fake cracky thing underneath them so that people are walking and it just like starts cracking underneath
Yeah,
them?
and then people start freaking out. I have seen those.
It's so funny. It's very mean, but it's very funny.
It's really mean, especially if that person, can you imagine if they finally got the courage to walk across and then that started happening? Like they were terrified and then that happened.
Like,
Oh,
yeah,
ugh.
somebody who was already afraid of heights and they finally got the courage to do it. And then they were like, oh, by the way, we're going to prank you as well.
Yeah, like that'd be so sad. I would do it though. I'm not really afraid of heights or anything, so wouldn't really bother me.
Is there anything heights wise that would bother you? I mean, I know you've been skydiving, so I'm not really like, there's probably not that much.
Yeah, no, heights don't really bother me that much. I mean, obviously, if I were to fall, I mean, I think there's probably a point where I'd be like, well, this is scary. Like if I fell unintentionally, you know what I mean? But no,
Yeah.
overall heights don't bother me all that much.
You're like, heights don't bother me unless I was falling from them to my death, in which case, obviously, I would care.
My sister and I went to the Grand Canyon one time, and we, you can only do so many of the like we're just standing here posing pictures, right? I was like just trying to come
Yeah.
up with different photos we could take to make it more interesting. We found this one spot where it was like when you stood back a ways, it looked like it was a cliff, but when you got closer, it actually there was like a slightly maybe like a foot or two lower, there was like another cliff that went out further, right? And so my
Yeah.
sister and I like laid down on that and like put our hands up on the top ledge. So it looks like we were falling over the side. And I asked these people to take a picture of us doing it. And the guy that took the photo thought that was the funniest thing in the world. And he's like, "Oh, are
I
you
mean,
gonna send this
that
to
is
your
pretty funny.
mom?" And we're like, "Yeah, yeah, it'll make it look like we fell off the
Did you, what,
side."
you only did it like you were hanging off the edge or something? What you should have done, because depending on how long the lower ledge, like the
Yeah.
lower ledge, I'm assuming it was large enough that there wasn't actually a threat
Yeah,
of
no,
actually
it was
falling
like
off
nowhere
anything, right?
near, nowhere
No.
near.
Then what you should have done is you should have taken a picture, like stood on the ledge,
Yeah.
and then like done a thing where it looks like you're falling back, but take the picture such that like it's clear that you were actually falling back.
That's true.
Like mid action.
That would have been cool. See, this is the kind of inspiration I needed while we were there.
Because that would have been really funny. Because then, like, everyone, you show the people the picture, you're like, check out this picture when I almost died. And they would have freaked out because it looks like you're falling off the cliff.
Yeah, like look where I almost died. Isn't that cool? I don't know. I mean, I like having the generic vacation photo of here's us in front of a thing, right? But I think sometimes it's fun to throw a little excitement in there, a little pizzazz.
I don't know. The here's us in front of a thing could just be a green screen at that point. Like, there's nothing fun about
Hey,
that.
okay, so then another awesome thing that I'm going to throw out there, if anyone ever goes to the Grand Canyon, that I think it's like an hour north, is Antelope Canyon. Coolest thing I've ever been to. Really, really cool. But you take these tours through it. It's really awesome. You can Google it. But we were on a tour, and it was like the two of us and then this other like guy in the group or whatever, and so we were taking turns taking pictures with like the different little formations or whatever. And yeah, my sister and I kept trying to get the guy, we're like, just do something fun, do a different pose, because he kept just being like, take a picture of me, and he just like smile and like give a thumbs up, and we're like, every single photo is just going to be you doing that with a slightly different background, which could make a really cool
It's
flip
like,
book.
this is just a stock photo, man. This isn't even, you're not even doing anything.
I guess maybe that's what he was going for, is like a flip book, where it's just him in the same pose in the same spot, but the location is changing.
That there's a level of like, why bother like even having them in the picture? Just get like a Photoshop one-time green screen picture and just drop them into it because they're going to look the same anyway. Have you ever met those people? I mean, so I've said before that I feel like photogenic, whether or not you're photogenic, is not a measure of how necessarily just how good you look in a picture, right? I feel like half the time photogenic is a measure of how consistently you look the same in a photo. Because there are people that like look very different in every photo, and then there's people that like their face and their smile is the exact same in every single picture they take. And if that's good, then you're it's considered being very photogenic. Like if you look good. But have you ever met somebody that basically is like a copy and paste, might as well be photoshopped, same person in every single picture?
Yeah, I'm sure I have. I'm just thinking back through like family photos. Like I feel like there's people in my family that for sure like every picture is just very clearly them. You know what I mean? I don't know cuz obviously I don't know how often I see photos of people I'm like not related to. So, it's hard to say for like
You
random
don't just go
people.
scrolling other people's Facebook pages for no reason, like just type in a name on Facebook and then go to their page, click the first result, and just scroll.
I don't know why that now wants to be my activity where I'm just finding people at random.
That's like Facebook gambling or some of some sort. I don't know what it would be, how you win, but is it terrible? I kind of want to try this just to see what
Just
you
to
get.
see. I was just wondering but like how do you come up with the name? You know what I mean? Are you just gonna
Oh, you just get a random name generator. You like Google a random name generator,
so yeah, okay, that's smart. Cause I was like,
and then you
that whole
just
like coming up with stuff at random and then it's not really that random.
yeah, no. You use a random name generator. You just go to like the type that in, pick like better yet, a random name generator, and then a random number generator between like 1 and 15. So you type the name in, and then you go to whichever page you hit. So it's like 3, you go to page 3 or the third result, and then you scroll theirs and see if there's anything interesting. Be like, what fun things have you done in your life? What things do you post about on Facebook?
I did a random name generator while you were talking. Do you want to guess the name?
Let me guess. It's my name. Is it Eric? Is it Kassi?
Oh my gosh. No, it's not. It's not. I never in a million years would guess this name.
What name did you get?
Nora is the first name. I'm not even sure I can pronounce the last name. Elagabalalis?
Laga Balalis?
Yeah, it's a weird name. Nora.
Sounds.
All right. Well, if you want to look up Nora,
But you need to give me a random number.
random number. I'd feel bad. I don't want people to do you want between 1 and 10 or 2 and
Yes, 1 and
75?
10.
Okay. All right.
1 and 10.
8 is what the generator gave me.
So for sake of their privacy, I'm not going to say their name. You gave me a politician. Although I realize I say for sake of privacy, but we just said Nora and 8, so it's probably. But she also has 135,000 followers, so there's a level of already not a private person particularly. Lady looks like a. Okay, interesting. Boring. I want like a person, not like I don't want like a well-known person. I want a nobody.
You should look up like businesses.
Businesses? Can I search via? Can I filter
Uh-huh.
businesses? Pages.
You're
Filter by
asking someone who
pages.
doesn't use Facebook. I have no
I mean,
idea
I
what
don't
you can
really
do.
either. I have it, but I don't use it. I feel like the idea of this was more fun than it actually is. I mean, maybe.
So wait, are there just random generators for everything?
Oh yeah, you can get random generators for everything on the planet. If it exists, you can get random generators for it. What, you didn't realize that was a thing?
I like to be random in the way that I'm not random.
So if you wanted a random generator, what do you want? What random generator do you want?
What random generator do I want? Oh, you know what I want? I would want a generator for when people are like, where do you want to go to eat? Except I don't want people to ask that anymore. Everybody has to be like, where are we going to go to eat? And then you have to spin the little generator. I don't know. I said spin it like you push the generator button and whatever it says, that's what you get.
I googled random restaurant generator. There are the first 3 results. There's randomrestaurantgenerator.com. On Wheelmaker, there's a restaurant's wheel, and there's restaurantroulette.co.
But would it do those automatically adjust to where you are?
I don't know. They might.
Because that would be really convenient.
Or I wouldn't be surprised if there's filters on the websites too that you can set like certain
Yeah.
parameters.
But I think it should just be known for everybody that the second you press generate, that's where you're going. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's
Oh,
where
you
you're
need
going.
people to sign a terms and conditions that it's like if you accept this, you are going to the restaurant at polls.
That's where we're going.
Why is it? If I can ask a
Yeah.
psychology question, why is it, do you think, that when people are trying to decide something and they're like, oh, I don't
Mm-hmm.
care, I don't have an opinion, the second you pick something, they're like, well, I don't want to go there.
I think it's because to some extent, on some level, I think they kind of don't care, right? Because they don't want to make the decision, so they don't care. But on another level, they're like, well, I also don't want to make the decision and then it's not great because then that falls back on me. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. And everybody, I do it too. Like there's times where people are like, where do you want to go to eat? And I'm just like, I don't want to decide. Don't make me. But if you pick somewhere, I'm automatically on board. I'm like, let's do it. I love it.
Wait, so when you do that, you're perfectly okay with anywhere? You're basically like,
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And if it's somewhere I don't want to go, I will suffer the consequences silently because I did that to me. That's not something you did. You know what I mean? I told you to pick, you picked. Moving on.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, how responsible of you, I guess.
Thanks. Some people call it passive. Some people call it a pushover.
Some people call it a follower.
Yeah.
But no, I'm going to call
Some
it responsible.
Some people call it having no opinions of your own.
No, I think so. Like, I've thought about this before, and I think what it really is that you don't necessarily have an opinion of where you want to go, but you do have opinions of where you don't want to go.
Yes.
And then there's also a
It's
level
that
of.
thing.
Sorry, continue.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Okay, fine. I was gonna say there's also a thing of where like you won't have an idea where you want to go. You're like, I'll go anywhere, and then someone suggests it, and then it's like as soon as in your brain you're locked into the I'm gonna have to eat there. You're like, but I don't want to go there. Like you had like because you don't have an opinion on where to go, you don't really process any of your opinions on where not to go either until it's brought up, kind of thing.
It's the same as when you want a snack and you're standing in your kitchen and you're like, I want something. And then, you're looking through your snacks and you're like, ooh, but I don't want that. I don't want that. I know I don't want that, right?
Yeah, you're
but
like, I definitely want something, but I don't know what. And you're just staring at a shelf full of stuff and you're like, it's none of those though.
I think it's the same mentality though. I think like you're saying, it's you don't know what you want, you just know what you don't want, but you know you want something,
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't think people do it just with restaurants. I think people do it with food, but I think people do it whether they're at home trying to figure out dinner or snack or whether they're going out. I think it's the same. That's why I personally like to prepare snacks. And then when my brain is like, I don't want that, I go, too bad. That's what we have.
Okay, so I get it from a standpoint of like just being more efficient or something. My issue with that fundamentally is there's a level in my brain of if you want a snack, like the point of a snack, the point of getting a snack is it's like a treat to yourself. It's already like it's not something you need, right? Generally, that's by definition, it's like a treat. It's not like a default thing. So to me, there's this level of, if it's not a snack you want to eat, why are you eating it?
Well, see, for me, I think maybe because my metabolism's high, a snack is just okay. To me, there's a difference in my brain between I want a snack and I want a treat. I know the difference. And if it's like I am a little peckish and I just want something to tide me over till the next big meal, just a little in between thing, that's when I'm like, we already pre-made snacks. Eat your snack. Get over it, right? If I go into it knowing I want a treat, then I'm a little, then it's obviously then I want something specific.
See, I guess to me, I'm good enough at just not eating because I just go long periods of time not eating because I can just ignore being hungry.
It's wild.
So because of that, I think in my brain, snack and treat are like the same thing to me. The way I treat it.
See, to me, snack is food item. You know what I mean? It's like it could be part of a meal type of situation, right? And a treat is I probably have some kind of sweet tooth going on, or I want something like salty, crunchy, you know? But I'm really good at telling the difference if I want, because to me, a snack is like, I'll eat anything and then I'm fine. A treat is like, no, I specifically want a certain like flavor or texture. And that's the only thing that's going to satiate me.
So I have a thought, and we may cut this entire section, but I just have to ask. I have to ask. You know how people refer to like a person as a snack, right? Because they're like, oh man, they're a snack. I'm like, if they're a snack, does that mean they're like someone that's like only fun to hang out with, like for a while? But if they're a full meal, that's like relationship material.
I have heard people say that, where sometimes people will be like, I'm not a snack, I'm a whole meal. And I think, yeah, it's like, I'm not here for a little bit. Like, you're going to commit. This is a whole thing.
Anyway, that was my thought. We can move on now because
That was it.
I was curious though.
See, and that's the hard thing with slang type things, because I feel like even if they start out one way, it always morphs into something else, you know?
Yeah. Slang is weird though.
It is.
Slang in general, and like the various words that generations use. What I find interesting, what I find particularly funny about it, is the cyclical nature of it.
I agree.
Because there are words that like are being used, like Riz, right? Riz is one that's used right now, and Riz's first recorded usage was in like the 20s, like 1920s.
Yeah.
And yet people act like it's this weird. People get weirded out by it. I'm like, the funny like there are people in the older generations that do this whole, you know, the like the super common thing where they're like, wow, kids these days sound like idiots, right? And it's like, it is kind of funny, and often they do, but it's kind of funny to me when it's a word that you're like, yeah, but your great grandfather was using that word.
I always think about words that I get stuck on using. There was a period of time where I kept using the word intense. Specifically.
Why? Were you going through a particularly intense time in life? Like,
I mean, at the time, maybe I was. I don't know. But I was talking to.
You're like, man, it's intense.
I was talking to my cousin, and I think he was, I don't know, like 7 or something at the time. And he was telling me some story, and I was like, that's intense. And he just stopped and looked at me. He's like, why do you always say stuff is intense? And I go, I don't know, man. Why are you questioning me? That's intense. And I don't know why when you start talking about slang, that made me think of that. He's just, why do you keep saying this?
I mean, that's why. Yeah, but I mean, it's the same thing. Like, there are phrases that come and go in your daily vernacular that like you don't know why. I don't know why. They just are there. I think, at least for me though, I think most of them are ones that like are there until someone points them out, and then you start noticing it and you stop doing it as much.
Yeah.
Like, well, because we used to use, me and one of my brothers, and actually you, because we got you doing it, but we did the "to be fair" all the time. We'd say "to be fair" or "in all fairness," and we used to do it all the time. Like, you couldn't go through a conversation without one of us saying "to be fair" or "in all fairness," and I feel like we don't do that anymore because someone pointed it out and they thought it was really funny, but because they pointed it out, I think it just sort of stopped happening.
I know for me, I realized I was doing it because I talk to you and your brother all the time. And yeah, I tried really hard to quit doing it because
you actually intentionally stopped?
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure there were conversations where the three of us were talking. It would just be like, well, to be fair, but in all fairness, to be fair, just every single sentence started that way.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, it's a pretty applicable sentence. Like, there's a lot of situations where it works.
Yeah, I just don't think we needed it every sentence. That was my point.
Yeah. Well, that's like, I used to do the cool thing a lot. Like, someone would say something, you're like, cool. And it's like, I don't really do that all that much anymore because it got pointed out, and it just sort of like, not even from like a negative perspective of like, oh, you stopped doing it because you're self-conscious. It's like, no, I just sort of, because I'm aware of it, I think it stops happening as much.
I was thinking, we were just talking about words, and I was thinking when you're a kid or when kids learn words and they don't know what they mean, right? But they start saying it, because they're like, I heard you use it, so I'm going to say it now. And my sister was over at our cousin's house. My sister had my car keys, and there's like a little keychain on it from Avatar: The Last Airbender of Appa. Their little girl was like, oh, what's this? And my sister goes, oh, these are Cassie's keys. You know, she's kind of nerdy. Their little girl like went like, yeah, nerdy. Got it. And then she's like, you could tell she clearly didn't really understand. But she's like, well, I like Cassie. She said this is Cassie's thing. And she's like a nerd. This is nerdy. So I'm going to say this is cool. So then she's like talking the rest of the day. She's like, we should go get ice cream. That'd be really nerdy, you know? Don't you think? I was just thinking, I wonder how many words in my life I've like misused like that. I'm just like, yeah, this is what this means.
Oh, I misuse words all the time. There are so many words like fondue that I have this very clear and set opinion in my head of what it means, and turns out I'm wrong.
You're like, it's cheese specific.
I could have sworn it was. I did in that episode. I swore it was.
You're like, I'm determined.
I feel like what's gotten to the point recently where I'm like, anytime I really should be like, more aware of this, but anytime I say a word and someone's like questions the definition, I usually double down. I'm like, no, I'm pretty certain that's what it means, but I really should immediately jump to probably I'm wrong.
I think instead of like, no, that's what it means, you should be like, well, I thought that's what this meant. just leave an air in there.
Well, I mean, like the other day, I said the word faculty in reference to just like employees at a business, and the people that I was with were like, isn't that specifically in relation to like school, like academic jobs, right? And I was like, is it? I was like, I could have sworn it was just like employees in general. Like I could have sworn I've heard faculty used before as just like employees.
Yeah.
But no, we looked it up and they're right. Like the faculty definition is well, there's three different things, but the one that refers to like that is like university, like subjects within a university or a school. So it's like, yeah,
it's weird because you said it and I immediately was like, yeah, that's referring to more like teaching staff, right? But for some reason, as soon as you said it, my brain was like, but there is a word that's similar to faculty. You know what I mean? So I'm like, wait.
But do you know what that word is?
I
know.
Nor will I ever know.
Well, the thing is like, I think what confused me is the fact that it's not specifically teachers, because like janitors at a school will still be called faculty. And so it's more like university or school employees that are faculty.
If I can be dumb for a moment, faculty.
For a moment?
At a facility. Yeah, I'm going to come back around. Is faculty just people that work at a facility?
No. Faculty is specifically schools related. It's like university or school related.
Don't you feel like those two words should be related though? Even though they're not?
I mean, yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know. In my head, I mean, I know it sounded a little bit weird because it's not a word we used, but I thought that it was, like, I actually thought that faculty was like a word that was just a general, like, employee at the school, or not at the school, like employee at like a business kind of term. So like you could be a factory worker and still be faculty.
Why do we have a specific word for that? That's kind of weird.
For school employees versus other employees?
Yeah,
I know. I want there to be a specific word for like fast food worker employees.
I think they just call them employees. Staff.
No, staff is a martial arts weapon. Or a walking stick. Or a wizard's tool.
I wish I had more shirts that said staff on the back. It's just anywhere I go.
You just want like... I mean, here's the thing. You know that whole idea of the like, if you wear a safety vest and a helmet, you can get in anywhere. Like just walk in places and they won't stop you. Especially if you're holding a clipboard as well.
That's true.
It's like, if you just had a black t-shirt that says staff on the back, I wonder how many places you could walk in. I feel like any concert you could walk into the back.
I used to do that at my old job, not walk around in safety stuff like that, but I used to carry a clipboard and I would do crosswords and Sudoku on it, but I'd just be walking around doing that. But it looked like I was...
Just so that people... So you looked more official?
Yeah, just to look like...
Than carrying around like a Sudoku
actually, for
book?
me, it was just easier because it was a hard surface to write on while I was doing my crosswords. But I would laugh when people would come over and they're like, oh, I don't mean to bother you. And I'm like, I'm just doing a crossword. You're fine.
Also, you're doing crosswords. Cassie, are you 106?
I was.
Wait, you got younger?
Well, I didn't say I got younger.
Benjamin Button disease?
Most people get older.
Yeah, I said, were you 106? And you said you were 106, meaning you got younger.
Yeah, I agreed with you. You were, I was.
I don't... What?
You asked if I was 106. I was.
Wow.
You don't like crosswords?
Meh. Not really. I like Sudoku.
Do you like puzzle games like that at all?
Yeah, I like a lot of them. I like Sudoku. I like Like a lot of the more modern ones, like Wordle and like all those other ones, a lot of them are kind of fun. What are those puzzles called? The ones where you have like the columns and the rows and they have like a number for how many dots you fill in on them.
Oh, what are those called? And they make like a picture when you like you fill in the squares and then it makes I
The only one I know of is a specific company, like a specific like app is what it was, or it was a computer game thing at the time. But so I don't remember Philip. That's not it. What are those called?
yeah, I don't know. Philipix is all I'm finding, but I don't know if that's
I mean that is right, but that's not what I've heard them called before.
it says Philipix puzzles are a type of logic puzzles where players fill out a grid to reveal a hidden picture.
They're called nonograms. Nonograms or nonograms.
New York Times games section, they have a lot of fun little free games you can play. But they have a Wordle and what's the Pips is the new game I'm really obsessed with.
Yeah, I like those. And then there is this ancient computer game, like back in the DOS era, that was called.
Oh my gosh. I was about when you kept saying ancient, I was about to be like from
No,
the
no, no, no,
80s,
like,
and I was
like
kidding,
a
and
DOS
then you were being
ran
serious.
in like a command prompt kind of um
Mm-hmm.
program, but it was called Sherlock. I don't know if you've ever heard of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the best logic game out there. At least that's the one I grew up playing. I loved Sherlock.
Did you ever play Chip's Adventure?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
Did
one
you
where
have
you like
that?
moved a little
Oh,
thing guy
I
around to collect
love.
little chips and shoved blocks into
Yeah.
stuff. And yeah, had to get the keys.
Yeah, and you had to get the keys, and then you had to collect the different shoes based on the environment you were doing. Uh oh, Chip's Challenge. That's what it is. Chip's Challenge. I can't remember. I just know I loved that game when I was a kid. That was a great
Yeah.
game.
Also, turns out Sherlock, the
That's
logic game, exists on iOS. I don't know if it's on Android.
Oh, so I was telling you though, on New York Times games, there's this new game they just put out called Pips. And you have like a grid that you have to fill in with essentially like dominoes. And you have to like meet the conditions. Like it'll be like, oh, things within this sector have to equal a certain number or whatever. It's really fun. I highly recommend it.
Wait,
Very
sorry.
interesting game to play.
What? How does it work? I didn't catch. Like I wasn't processing.
It has like a grid that you have to fill in with dominoes, and you have a certain amount of dominoes at the bottom, and you have to like fill in the grid, but you have to meet certain conditions because there might be like 3 highlighted blocks, and they're like, oh, these blocks all have to be the same number, right? Or these highlighted blocks have to total up to 18 or like whatever it is.
Huh.
And you have to configure the dominoes in the grid to meet all of the conditions. If you don't know what I'm talking about, as I said, go to New York Times New York Times games, and it's on there, and you can play it for free.
Sounds interesting. You know which one I haven't played, but I feel like actually could be fun? Because like, so my family, a couple of us played Wordle a lot, which Wordle is fun.
Wordle is fun.
There's the one called, have you ever heard of Connections? Never played
Yes.
it. I've always thought it kind of sounds fun because I bet I can categorize things.
I like Connections. That's a fun game as well.
Do you just play all the? Is that like their website or something? Where you're going for New York?
Yeah,
Times?
it's just New York Times games, and they have a bunch of different little games you can play. Some you have to be subscribed for, but a lot of them are free. And each day they have like a different puzzle or whatever, and you just play them for free. And I think it's great.
And do you do this daily?
Yeah, for the most part.
It's like your version of like a Duolingo type situation.
Yeah.
Because you're not smart enough to learn another language, so you got to do New York Times instead. As if that's
Yeah.
easier.
I think it is easier than learning another language. Yeah.
Well, no, that was the joke. Is I was saying it like learning another language is the easier one. Wait, no, harder one. Harder one is what I was saying.
I mean, based on the conversation we've had today, I think we're still trying to learn the language we supposedly already know. So I think we should perfect this one first before we start trying to learn other ones.
Perhaps.
Aren't you doing Duolingo?
Yes,
or have
I
you
am.
given up on that?
No, I still do it.
Okay. How's that going for you?
Quite
It's
well.
going well? Are you still doing multiple languages or just one?
Multiple. I'm only doing one predominantly. However, I am doing like 3 others very, very casually. And if you're curious, I can tell you which ones.
Please. I kind of already know, but tell me again.
Well, the main one is Hawaiian. because I can,
Hmm.
because it's fun. And then I'm also sort of learning French and Gaelic and Swahili.
That's a lot.
I know, right?
But I am impressed. I always find it really impressive people that can speak more than one language, even if not completely fluent or even partially fluent. If they kind of know general phrases, I think that's really impressive.
Do you speak any other languages at all?
No. I've only really ever tried to learn Spanish, and I can communicate in Spanish like maybe I'm a 4-year-old.
Like maybe you're a 4-year-old.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, I just learned my colors. I can count to 10. I was doing the Duolingo thing where they have the little podcasts you can listen to in the language you're trying to learn. I've gotten to a point that I can somewhat understand what they're talking about without them having to like tell me what they're saying. But again, I assume that
Yeah.
they're reading these stories like you would read to a child, where they're going very slow.
So wait. So is it, you said it's a thing that's specifically designed for like trying to listen to it so that you can understand what they're like for learning it
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah, but it's part of Duolingo. I can't remember if it's a separate thing you have to download, but on Duolingo they have a podcast section, so you can whatever language you're learning, they read like a story to you, and every so often they stop and like reiterate the story in English to see if you've followed along or understood and all that kind of stuff.
I wonder if that's like a specific language because I know like because I do multiple, I know that like and I have a lot of family members that do it. I know that what they offer or how it's structured, depending on which language you're doing, is very different. Like I know that like for Spanish and even French, they have like sections where it uses the microphone and like it's you're speaking it, so it can listen if you're pronouncing it correct and like a lot of that kind of stuff. Or
Yeah.
they'll have sections where like you can actually talk to like if you pay for the premium, you can also talk to like experts and communicate with them
Yeah.
to like get tips and whatever and talk to them and like practice. But like Hawaiian doesn't have either of those. So it depends on the language, I think. There's a level of like
Right.
the bigger quote unquote bigger languages have more thorough everything, I think.
Yeah. I could see that just the kind of the more common the languages that people are learning,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Then I think like if a bunch of people started trying to learn Hawaiian, I think they would probably offer that.
yeah, I don't think the average just non-Hawaiian American or anybody really is trying to learn Hawaiian unless they're a Hawaiian person that wants to learn Hawaiian.
Yeah. Are you gonna go to Hawaii?
Because it's not. No, no, I have no specific plans
Oh,
to.
I didn't know if that's why you were
Maybe sometime
learning
in my life.
because you
No,
want
no,
to
no. I'm
just
doing it honestly.
go try it out.
Honestly, I'm learning it because when I was looking through the list of languages, my brain said, "What sounds fun?" and Hawaiian was one of them.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that. I just didn't know if there was also like a part of you that was like, oh, it'd be really fun to go find people that also speak this language and try to have a conversation with them.
Well, the problem is there is a level of practicality, right? There's a level of learn a language that makes sense because if you spend all your time learning the dead language, like or even a fantasy language, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like I think they have a Klingon, you can learn Klingon through Duolingo or something, but like there's a level of what's the point because it's pointless, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side, and this is what one of my brothers, who was the one one of the ones that did Duolingo first in our
Mm-hmm.
family, his logic was you can learn something practical or you can learn something you're actually going to spend the time to learn
Oh, for sure.
because there's a level of it's like, oh, I could learn Spanish, but I have no desire to learn Spanish, which means I'm never going to dedicate any time to it. But if I pick languages I want to learn, then I'm doing it for fun, meaning I'm going to spend more time to actually do it.
Yeah. Well, and I think if, like you're saying, if you pick a language you want to learn, you'll also probably end up finding people, you know what I mean, who also wanted to learn it or speak it, or you know what I mean. Like
I
Klingon.
haven't yet. I haven't.
You don't think the people that learn
I have yet
Klingon?
to find anyone that wants to speak, or is learning to speak Hawaiian,
Yeah. I also don't
or
know.
already speaks Hawaiian. I have yet to find any of them.
Which is weird. I think it's a little sad that you are probably more likely to find someone that speaks Elvish or Klingon than you are that speaks Hawaiian.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, if I was looking for someone who spoke like French, there's plenty of those people around. If I was looking for someone who spoke Swahili, I bet I could find it. But
Yeah.
like Hawaiian's a much more niche language. Because realistically, the only people that speak Hawaiian are Hawaiian people, generally.
Probably. Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
As opposed to some of the other ones that are more commonplace languages. I mean, even like Swahili, which is not as commonplace as like French, is still a much more commonplace language than Hawaiian.
They estimate there's about 24,000 fluent speakers in Hawaiian.
That speak Hawaiian?
That's what they're guessing.
Yeah. Swahili is spoken by over 20 million people.
Yeah.
It's one of the most widely spoken languages in Africa. Yeah, there's a massive difference.
That's a huge gap.
What about Gaelic?
Oh, that's probably even smaller, right?
Oh boy. What'd you say the Hawaiian one was?
24,000?
Gaelic is better, but not a lot better.
Hmm.
According to the 2022 Scottish census, 69,701 people in Scotland speak Scottish Gaelic.
Do you think that went up after Outlander became really popular?
It went up since 2011, pretty significantly, which was the last major census.
Let's see. Outlander, the TV series, came out in 2014.
So no. Well, I mean, that might have influenced it, but no, that wasn't like the main reason necessarily. However, here's the thing about my odds, right? Is that according to Google, there's only a few dozen to perhaps 100 people that can speak Klingon fluently. So I guess I do statistically have higher odds of talking to a person that speaks Hawaiian than somebody who speaks Klingon.
That's wild. I figured there were a lot more people who speak Klingon.
Evidently not.
I know that sounds insane, but I just feel like there was a point where I just felt like people were probably learning that.
Did you know they also have High Valyrian on Duolingo as well?
Yeah, I saw that.
Those are only two like non-Earth languages they have, non-real languages.
Wow, they don't have Elvish on there?
No, they don't have Elvish, which is crazy. I have to assume it's a licensing thing because I would have expected them to have Elvish, so I think that's weird that they don't. They do, however, have chess, math, and music.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't realize they branched out like that.
Yeah, they actually have like a whole course on Duolingo to teach math, and a whole course to teach music and music theory, and a whole course to teach how to play chess.
Who has this much time, you know?
I don't know.
I can't play my New York Times and learn all these other things.
Yeah,
it's too much. It's too much, man.
Nah, you got this. Actually, you know what? I take it all back. I forgot who I was talking to. There's no way you have this. You have no chance.
That's just rude, and that's probably why we're not really friends.
That is why we're not really friends. You're the worst.